What's going on, everybody? I'm Josh, and you know where you at, outside the playbook. Today we got a reaction video. Earlier, this may be a little bit older, but earlier this week it was brought to my attention that Gilbert Arenas may or may not have taken some shots at Giannis. But I'm a big context person. I gotta hear the full clip to understand where he's coming from, where he's going, the point he was trying to get across. So here's an interview Gilbert was doing on No Chill Gil. With Phil Handy. All right, if you don't know who Phil Handy is, big ball handling guy, big on fundamentals and training, one of the best trainers in the whole entire NBA. Somebody that I study, watch his videos, watch his clips, watch the instructions that he gives out. I have his app on my phone. 94 feet a game. Phenomenal coach. Works a lot with Kyrie. Did some work with Kobe way back. Right now he's a Lakers assistant coach. They're talking about Kobe right now, and they're about to go into talking about Giannis in a moment. But I want you to hear his comments. Before we get to the video, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys. Let's hear what Gil had to say.
We would do certain things, do some ball handling stuff, and then he'd be like, I'm going to stay in this spot for the next 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he would do the same move over. And at the time, I didn't really understand it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, Cole, tell me, walk me through this. You know, what's your thought process of? And he said, man, I wanted it to feel like my skin. I wanted it to feel like fabric on my skin. So if I get to this spot on the floor at any point in the game, doesn't matter if it's one defender, two defenders, three defenders, I can shoot with my eyes closed. Mm-hmm. That type of mentality, right? Of just feeling completely comfortable. I had never trained like that as a trainer. And so again, it really opened my eyes up into.
Obviously, we know about Kobe's work ethic. We know that man was a demon when it came to his work. Meticulous, methodical, day in and day out. There's a lot of weight that people put into being the first one in, last one out. Kobe would be in a full sweat after being at the gym 2 hours, 3 hours before his teammates even got there for practice. So that's the kind of work that he put in. Always going to be one of my favorite players of all time. The type of work ethic that you can only strive to achieve. You may not get there, but like I said, Kobe was otherworldly when it came to his work ethic, as we all know.
Different ways of how to be meticulous about your training.
And that was the same thing I got from him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I said, you know, I trained and I'm training, but watching how he trained changed the way I came into training. Mm-hmm. So everything became volume.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't about hours anymore.
Right.
You know, it wasn't about, you know, oh, I was practicing for 2 hours, 3 hours. No, it was about volume, doing the same thing over and over until my hands are cut. Like I'm bleeding, like tape. Like I'm shooting with my son, I got scars on it. Because I want to shoot until my hands are bleeding. You know, same move, pump fake, jab, shot. Pump it, and I'm going to shoot 400, 500 of those. And I remember when I did the drill, and I did a 70, I was doing like 100,000 makes.
I remember that.
That was because of it. Like, I'm training my arm.
And people thought you were insane.
And it's just, I'm trying to, like, what would Kobe doing right now? He's going to be doing like 100,000. So I need to go ahead and let him know I'm in here doing 100,000. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. But, you know, everybody doesn't really get it.
No question.
You know, they get tired. Oh, this hurt.
Another point I want to make. So it's good. Taking a lot of shots, getting your time in, getting shots up, working on your skills, working on your handles and everything like that. But at this stage in Gilbert Arenas' career, at this stage in Kobe's career, all right, those are probably 100,000 good shots that he's going to see in the game. Also, he's probably at this point mastered the art of correcting his shot, correcting his mistakes, finding out, okay, I'm not putting enough arc on that. I need to get my legs into it. My form's not tight. I need to get my wrist under the ball, things of that nature. A lot of times, younger players, they just get in the gym and they just shoot 1,000 shots, but it's 1,000 shots shooting the wrong way, and they don't understand why it's not translating to the game. Taking good shots, taking great shots, but understanding when you're making mistakes, when you're messing up, you can correct those along the way so that you can still take 1,000 great shots.
Hurts, and I'm like, it hurts because, like, I can shoot the same way from shot 1 to shot 1,000 now.
No question.
Like my arm don't get fatigued because I've been doing the same thing over and over.
It's
and
not
over
meant
and
to
over.
be easy, man.
Huh?
There's levels, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
that separation, people don't understand that separation. You know, you talk about there's elite, and then there's a whole nother level. There's a gap, and people wonder, well, why? What separates them, man? Listen, I've learned what separates Bron. You know, what separates guys like Kobe, Bron, the Kawhis, the KDs, or whatever in the world. It's the work that they put in, how meticulous they are with that work, relentless with that work, and there is a true gap.
There is.
There is a true gap. You know, I talk to people about that all the time. Yeah, there's elite, but then there's another level of elite in our league of what players look like.
And what's so funny is the media tries to shorten it.
They do.
They try to shorten this gap like it's this, like, oh, he's the best player in the league. Not even close. Just stop. Just stop it. Just stop. Like, stop. This.
Now let's be clear. This is where he starts talking about Giannis, getting into that. So let's see where this train goes off the track at.
The gap is so big, but you're trying to always replace the next person by putting it back. Like his work, I can look at his game and say, he doesn't understand basketball yet. He plays the sport. He won a championship. Cool. He doesn't really understand how to be great, how to be better, how to train his body. Like, you know, I'm looking at the stats. Oh, you're playing 32 minutes, 34 minutes, 30. I'm sorry, but to be here, you have to train your body to at least 38 minutes and above. Like LeBron played 37 minutes at 37. That's a whole, like, that's a whole, Iverson was playing 43 minutes. 43 minutes, like there's a real, like if I told Allen Iverson, yeah, you're gonna play 32 minutes tonight, really man to cuss you out.
Oh yeah, that's a fight. It's a fight. It's a fight.
Okay, let's talk about a few things. First of all, not understanding how to be great. Highly disagree with that. You can hear when Giannis speaks, he has an understanding that there are levels to it. He has that understanding. He understanding of how much time needs to be put in. You can look from the first year he entered into the league to what it is now and comparing his body, what it is now, and you can see there was time put in. There's an understanding, this is what I have to do to improve on my game. Okay, he's done that. Now, you get to the part where 32 minutes or whatever, that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because if you think about it, the older Tim Duncan got, let's use that comparison because I know Gil, he also made that comparison at one point. If you look at that, Tim Duncan was not playing above 35 to 40 minutes the later he got in his career, but they were still winning 50-plus games. They were still putting up historic numbers. Think about it. The 73-win season that Golden State had, San Antonio was not far behind them in that season. Again, it speaks to the organization, how to keep the players healthy, how to help them maintain their bodies and things of that nature. But you also got to consider that that's how they were doing things for years. Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker, and then you off the bench, you have, other guys that can spot minutes here and there. That was to keep their bodies fresh, but they were still playing great. Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. I don't think there's a thing about, all right, the more you play, that's another level of greatness as far as minutes per game. There's been times where Giannis will have a 40-point double-double, a 40-point triple-double, or a 40 and 15 or whatever. And he only plays maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something of that nature. You don't have to play a lot, but what you do in that time, that determines the outcome of the game in a lot of situations. That's another level of greatness, okay? LeBron, KD, and Giannis, they are in that upper echelon. I got Embiid and Jokic also in my top 5 players in the league, but they're on that secondary level, the elite level. The greatness that he's talking about, LeBron, KD, and Giannis. In my personal opinion, you don't get back-to-back MVPs. You don't get a championship and a finals MVP. You don't get defensive player of the year and MVP in the same season. Multiple all-star selections, multiple NBA first team selections, defensive teams. You don't get all that without understanding how to be great. And this is no slight because we all know Gilbert Arenas was a bucket. Give you 40, 50, 60 game winners, scoring. He was an elite scorer. I'll say that. But he's not in that upper echelon of great players that he's alluding to be able to tell Giannis, who has a litany of achievements above his own resume, to say you don't understand how to do this. You don't understand how to be great. You not that. So I think sometimes people look at Gil because he has a platform, one of the better podcasts, very entertaining because he says outlandish things. Sometimes it's on point. A lot of times it's on point. I'm not even going to hate. A lot of times he says some things that are on point, but it's that little sound bite that gets views, that gets media attention. I mean, Goran Dragic is in another country for Eurobasket, and he's commenting on what Gilbert Arenas is saying. It's just worldwide attention that he's getting because of some of the interesting things he's saying. Gilbert knows basketball. But I think there needs to be a fine line between crazy and interesting. And he knows how to play that line incredibly well.
Hey, bro. He's sitting there like, yo, I train my body way past.
It's a fight. 32 minutes.
32 minutes.
Come on, man. I'm not even breaking a sweat. That's a fight right there, dog.
And you got superstars in today's game, like 32 minutes. And I'm like, when I went into playoffs games, I'm already prepared to never be subbed out.
Well, that's what you're building for, right?
Yeah, like I trained and did my conditioning during the season to get ready to play. I got to play against Bron. Okay, I know he's gonna do this. So the first 6 minutes of what he's doing really is, he's gauging. He's gauging. So I gotta really attack, try to get a little lead before he decides to kick it on.
Right.
This little, and then when he takes this league, it's just a whole.
Hey, man, it's mental warfare.
Straight up.
People don't understand like the playoffs of what's the difference between regular season and going into the playoffs.
Hey, he's a former NBA player. Like I said, elite scorer at the highest level. He can say a lot of whatever he wants, but I'm inclined to completely disagree with everything he just said in regard to Giannis. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys, and I'm out.